Now, the next question comes up is, should we bid on our own name? I get that question all the time. This, by the way, it's called a branded keyword. This is how your SEM explains it. They always say, this is your branded campaign. It sounds like a great campaign. Oh, man, I ought to have a branded campaign. Yeah. Oh, yeah, let's throw $3,000 a month at our branded campaign. Okay? What they're saying when they say it's a branded campaign, you're buying your own name. Now, let's be clear. Should you buy your own name? Should you be bidding on your own name? First, if you're Atlanta Toyota, then the answer is yes. Okay? If you chose a city name and as your dealership name, Atlanta Toyota, then yeah, unfortunately, no matter what, you've got to be bidding on your own name. But if you're Stawning Toyota, it's a bit more complicated. Bad SEMs and Google will tell you to always bid on your own name. Why? Because these are your best keywords. All right, let's deep dive onto this page here for Knutson Chevrolet. Why is this your best keywords? Because most of your website leads and calls are going to come from people who've searched specifically for you. Now, would it make any sense for Knutson Chevrolet in this instance to buy their own name? No, and they're not, because they're number one organically, and they're number two organically, and they've got the Google My Business page. Anybody looking for Knutson is going to find Knutson, and that's what Google wants people to do. But here's the deal. Why does Google want you to bid on your own name? Why does your bad SEM want you to bid on your own name? And by the way, good SEMs want you to bid on your own name too, but they can explain the reasons for you, and they can track the ROI. But let me be very clear. That's where your best website leads and calls are come from, are people who search specifically for you based on your standing in the marketplace, based on the ads that you run, based on everything else. Let me tell you about Restoration Hardware. If you didn't read this recently, it was a couple of months ago, but Restoration Hardware discovered that 98% of their online business came from variations of their own name. 22 keywords. I think they were buying 3,200 different keywords that they were bidding on. But 22 of those keywords are what drove 98% of their business. Those 22 keywords were Restoration Hardware or misspellings of Restoration Hardware. Okay? They were wasting their PPC budget buying their own name. Those people would have found Restoration Hardware anyway. Now, the PPC vendor in Google, they want the money that this drives, right? And they want the credit for these leads and calls, of course, because they can commingle these with the rest of your spend and they can look like they're doing a better job. These keywords used to be dirt cheap. This is where you need to really look at this. For the dealer buying their own name, it used to be something like a 50-cent click, a 25-cent click, when other clicks were $3. Now, those clicks I'm starting to see, when they're compared to other clicks, are starting to get right in line with that, a couple of bucks. That doesn't make any sense. Some dealers today are paying over $2 a click to attract someone already looking for them. So how do you tell whether this makes sense? All right. The number one test is simple. How do you really rank for your own name, right? If you're Knutson Chevrolet, you own it. By the way, Search Station that we talked about a couple of sections ago, they have a report that shows the organic keywords that you own that you're also bidding for on PPC. So you can make a decision by looking in Search Station and say, wait a minute, I'm bidding on that and I own it. You can look at that report and find out. Now, if you're AutoNation Toyota, you own the organic results, right? But in this case, we'll take a look at them. They've got a competitor bidding on their own name, or at least not making their name a negative keyword. So again, I told you this isn't a Google Analytics class, but here's the deal. Parker Toyota at the bottom of that red box is a competing dealer, the closest competing dealer to AutoNation Toyota Spokane, at least from going east. It's the closest competitor. Now, they're bidding on the name AutoNation Toyota, or they're just bidding on the word Toyota in our marketplace. The bottom line is they own the organic results. AutoNation Toyota does, right? They have the number 1 and number 2 organic spots, plus they own the Google My Business page. Now, should you be bidding as AutoNation Toyota is doing? I say no in this case, and I'm going to tell you why in just a second. But here's a big one. Look at the phone numbers. So the red arrow points to the pay-per-click phone number that when a human calls that number, when someone searches AutoNation Toyota and they call that number, AutoNation Toyota pays as if they clicked on it, okay? And the SEM gets the results from that. And they get to say, oh, look, we drove this phone call for you. Well, what if they didn't include the phone number into that place? Or what if they weren't buying the number 1 spot? Well, guess what is on the at the green arrow on the Google My Business or the business card page is a phone number. Now, And that phone number is free. So I'm not paying for someone to call me. I'm not paying to be 411. Now, here's why I wouldn't do it in this case. Okay, if I was AutoNation Toyota, I would not be buying my name, AutoNation Toyota. Competitive keywords have almost no ROI. For most dealers, bidding on competitor names hurts your quality score because it's a low click-through rate and it's a bad landing page experience. So in this case here, if I'm Parker Toyota and I'm bidding on AutoNation Toyota, and again, they might just be doing it accidentally. They just didn't make, they're bidding on all Toyota keywords and didn't make AutoNation a negative keyword. But the person who accidentally clicks on my ad, because that's what it's going to be an accidental click, there are going to be very few of those, so I'm going to get a low click-through rate, so I've got to pay more and more for that keyword. It's going to hurt my quality score for that, whatever brand I'm going, whatever experience I'm going after, whatever campaign I have that on. But then when they click through and they go, oh, this is Parker Toyota. No, I'm looking for AutoNation Toyota because that's where my car is in for service, right? So then they go back to Google and click on AutoNation Toyota or find the phone number in the Google My Business. See, this means Parker, they're paying a higher cost per click for a lower position, and they're not converting any of the accidental clicks. You want to buy your name because you want to protect it, right? Because you have a competitive situation where others are bidding on your name. My question is this: are you bidding on their name? And if you are, have you looked at that campaign lately? Does it have any ROI, or are these the most expensive clicks you're buying with the least results? So, should you buy competitive names? All right. In this case, if I'm Parker Toyota, should I be bidding on AutoNation Toyota? Listen, if you're competing with Atlanta Toyota, then yes, of course, I'm going to buy competitor names. But if you're competing against Stawning Toyota or AutoNation Toyota, then I'm only going to buy competitor names if it has a measurable ROI at the keyword level. So I know that the people who clicked on an AutoNation Toyota keyword to Parker Toyota, right? I'm going to be able to measure that at the keyword level, look at the leads and the sales from the keyword. Plus, my ad copy must be targeted for this. They must know that I'm a competitor. See, chances are, though, you're going to find, as most dealers have who've looked at the ROI, there is almost no ROI from buying your competitor names. There's no ROI in it. There really isn't. Let's look at the ROI. Let's separate that campaign, make it a competitive campaign. And some of you will say, well, Steve, we only put $500 against it. Well, then what are you going after, right? If you're not there all the time, if you're not really going after that competitor, what are you doing? You're not doing anything. You're hurting your overall quality score and you're raising your cost per click, and there's almost no ROI in that.